feel to be back? You guys had a short off season, but have one year under your belts. How's it feeling?
You want me to leave that one? Yeah, short off season, no off season, but obviously we'll take it every year if we're in a final. A lot of work is being done in terms of trying to get the group right, in terms of the players coming in, the new players coming in, and talking to the technical staff quite a bit. It was important to try and keep as many as the last year's roster, as possible, and I think we did that. So very excited to see what happens. Obviously we kicked off the season in El Paso last weekend, but we're delighted to be home this Saturday.
Yeah, Coach, what were your thoughts on that game? There's only so much you can learn about your team in practices, but actually seeing them get out there last Saturday. Just your thoughts on this year's team?
Yeah, I think, look, it wasn't the performance we would have wanted going down there. I don't think we were great with the ball, and we were a bit rusty without it. So it wasn't a perfect performance by any stretch of the imagination. What I will say is, though, the effort that the players put in was exceptional, and that's ultimately what gave us the opportunity to get a point. But we know that there's so much more room for improvement and a hell of a lot of growth in this team.
So far, your guys' thoughts on the new leadership group? I feel like we didn't get a lot of answers on the changes that they were going to make. What kinds of things have you guys seen so far?
Are you talking about the big picture leadership group?
Yeah.
The ownership change?
Yeah.
Well, the owners have always been here. The Reagans and the Whiters have always been here, as that was discussed in that press conference. And both sets of ownership group, and I'll say this all the time, privately and publicly, that we have a fantastic pool of owners here. We did for the last 4 or 5 seasons that I've been here. So the idea of just, as we would call them, the Wideners or the secondary ownership group at the time, coming in to take primary ownership group is just a normal. It is different, but it's a normal day on our side. It's more discussion on, now, okay, this has happened, this change has happened. We're still in a transition period of like what it will look like. But there is a lot of talk on progression in terms of which way the club is going to go, which way the club is going to expand. And I'm very excited to be a part of it. But I think it's been a little bit more normal for us on our side because we've always had a really good relationship with both sides of the ownership group.
And Coach, as the reigning champions, do you already feel like there's a bigger target on your guys' map this season?
No, I think I've been pretty adamant in leaving the past in the past. It's done, it's left behind, it's gone, it's forgotten about. And the group is different this year with new players and obviously new teams as well that we're going to face with Lexington and obviously Eastern Conference teams. So it's brand new, it's fresh, it's different. Slightly, like we have to improve, we have to get better. That's the be all and end all for us, and that was evident last Saturday.
Last year you had a slow start, but you still won it all. How important was a strong start be for you guys this year? Really, what matters is playing well in the second half. But just how important is it for you to get off the start?
I think like, look, you want to put your best foot forward from the get-go, but obviously there's a slight bit of rustiness, but there was. There's a slight bit of getting to know each other, people forming combinations and relationships on the field, us figuring out more about the new players who've joined the group. So there's a lot of those nuances, but ultimately we don't have that time. If we take too long to get all those things together, we'll be left behind. So we're aware that, look, yeah, we know it's a long season, and in this country, the way the playoff format is set up, that you give your best possible chance towards the end of the season. But we don't want to be left scrambling to try and achieve playoffs or try and achieve home playoff or whatever our goals are. We want to give ourselves the best possible chance of accumulating as many points as possible throughout the season. That's why I was pleased overall with Saturday with regards to the point, but not with the performance.
Coming off the championship, has the mentality changed at all? Just the confidence of this team going into the next season, as opposed to maybe this time last year?
Yeah, I think I would say there's a little bit more confidence, but it's certainly not arrogance. I think the reality is a lot of the players that we have now have achieved something, they've done something, but they want to do it again. And I know the players that I have in that locker room, they're not settling on what's been done. They want to do it again. They're eager to go again. But like I said, it's a long season. That thing doesn't get lifted till late November. It's middle of March. So we got to focus on Detroit on Saturday first and foremost, and what will be at the end of the year will be.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Coach, talk to me about just the start at El Paso. I know it took your guys a while for your offense, your attack to get going. 2 minutes in, Marco draws a penalty, converts the penalty. Nice shot, Marco.
Good job, Michael.
Talk to me about that start. Pretty electric for you.
Yeah, it was. We like starting fast. That's part of what we want to do and who we are. And the fast start was really good. It comes from a good ball from Matt down the side. Marco makes a really good forward run and then gets absolutely assaulted in the box, so it's a penalty. But for 20 minutes, from a performance on the road, I was really pleased. I thought we were very good for 20 minutes. And then ultimately we didn't adjust to what the game gave us, but really pleased with how the boys applied themselves.
Another guy you guys brought in, Charlie Adams from Las Vegas, known as a great guy, great playmaker, sets up great assists, set up Jerry stuff. Go ahead from the 75th minute. Talk to me about his playmaking ability and what we can expect out of him here.
Yeah, he's like a conductor in there. He's comfortable on the ball. He's a lovely left foot. Really good distribution over short range, medium range, long range. So he can dictate the tempo, which is something that we feel we needed.
You know that Detroit's coming in this weekend. They're pretty good on the road. Came and beat you guys last year. Talk to me about this matchup coming in this weekend.
Yeah, an excellent side. I think Danny's a terrific coach. Has done such a good job there with Detroit. Really good structure defensively in like a 3-5-2. And ultimately don't give up many goals, which they showed last year, and they kept a clean sheet away from home at the weekend. So I think we'll have our work cut out for us most definitely. We need to make sure that we're better than what we were last weekend.
Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, we're gonna swap them out now for.
Thanks, guys.
Matt, so Coach just said confidence but not arrogance on this team. How are you seeing that, as a leader on this team so far this season?
Yeah, I think it's something that Chamberlain and the staff has echoed since preseason. We've had, I'd say, about half the group returning from last year, so there's a lot of fresh faces. But like he had just mentioned, a lot of us now are bringing this experience of winning a championship, and so that gives us, hopefully a little bit of extra confidence. But it's also a brand new year. As we see in El Paso, we didn't quite kick off the season how we wanted to, but again, last year we started 0-5, so we would have been begging for a point at this point last year. So to start the season that way, especially when we were poor away last year, we'll take it for right now. And I think the confidence of the group, as we get used to each other more, will grow as the season goes on.
For both of you guys, do you sense that there is a bigger target on your back, and the coach said otherwise?
I don't personally feel it, no. I think as you start to play the game, people kind of forget about it, and it is what it is. But I think when people play us, that they will know that we're the champions, and I think so for us ourselves, I think maybe it means a little bit more. But once you start playing the game, it's just another game.
Yeah, he said it best. That's it. I don't know what to add.
How tough is it to just have such a short off season, not so much time to really step away from the game and kind of refresh, I guess?
Those are short.
Yeah, a little bit shorter, but also itching to get back. The way you ended things was a highlight of my career. So honestly, was itching to get back and get preseason started, and now just happy that we're back at Widener on Saturday.
And then for both of you guys, just how are you characterizing this team after kind of what we saw in El Paso last weekend?
Yeah, I think this week we've given a good response on the field and the training. We weren't very happy with our performance. We were happy enough to get a point on the road. We're a good team. It's a really good bunch of lads as well. And to be honest, it's one of those things where I've walked in as a newcomer, and the culture in the locker room is exceptional thanks to Skipper and to Duke and to lads that have been here a few years. And more so than anywhere I've ever been before, do these boys really hold a really high standard week in, week out. So it makes me realise last year when they were maybe 0-5, they say trust the process or whatever that phrase is. Well, it really goes to show. I'm sure their standard stayed, and at the end of the year, they were lifting the trophy. I'm personally really happy to be in this environment, and as an individual, I think you can only grow when you have people like Matt holding you accountable every single day.
Matt, how fresh in your mind, I know last season's last season, but just the whole championship and that feeling, is that still with you and some of the guys on this team?
Personally, not really. No, I think we lived in the moment, and you get to celebrate after. And honestly, it's just back to work. It's a new season. So I would say when you think back on it, you realizing it's still kind of a wow, it happened. But now it's a new season. It's back to zero, and it means nothing if we can't go and compete for another one.
What was your favorite part after you won the championship? What was it, whether it was with your teammates or your family, what was your favorite moment?
Yeah, personally, I was very lucky. I had my wife here. My family came in to be able to see it. But I think just all of it combined, like we were able to celebrate after with the staff, the club, the city, the organization, our families, and things like that. It's something I'd never experienced anywhere. So I think just being able to have the people that were special to me around here and actually celebrate it, having it here at Widener Field for every game, we were very lucky. I'd say that was probably the best part for me.
Will you give yourself one last moment when they unveil the banner on Saturday night? Just kind of that cherry on top kind of thing?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know they were doing that. But maybe, I mean, we'll be in game mode, so we'll be focusing on getting the 3 points at home and maybe soak the moment in, and then get back to work.
The identity that you guys worked so hard to form last year, do you feel any of that carry over into this year, or is it, starting from basically zero?
No, definitely. I think we're miles ahead from where we were in the beginning of last year. I think the identity that Chambo and the staff has implemented is still there. We brought a lot of the core guys back and brought even some more players in that fit our identity. So I'd say to start the season, we're actually miles ahead from last year, which is promising for the rest of the season.
And just knowing that you guys have done it, just how much confidence is that?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit more. Once you achieve something, you can actually believe that it's doable. But there's only been one team that's done it twice in a row, in the USL's history. So we know it's going to be very tough, but we believe with the players we brought in and the guys we have returning that we'll give ourselves a good chance to compete again.
Not ask the coach, so I'll ask you as well. Last season, for a while there, you were the only guy with a goal. I think it came against Detroit.
Yeah.
Talk to me 2 minutes in, watching Marco make that play, draw that penalty. What was that like seeing and what was going through your mind?
No, I was just I thought back to last year and actually how good we were when we were able to start games fast, and that's something that we try to do as part of our identity. And I think we were one of the best teams in the league to do that. And then once we got ahead, we were very good at keeping that lead. So I was just ecstatic, to start the season that way. It was, I think, like 40 seconds in. And then for Marco to have the confidence to go and convert that penalty after, it really just jump starts the season. And then like Chambo had echoed, we started the game well and then kind of fell off from there. But hopefully that's how we can start pretty much every game.